Hello, 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 and welcome to another Sith Holocron from the Dongers of Runeterra Donger deck discussion. And today's Donger deck discussion is about me trying to make one of my favourite ever champions in Vladimir actually properly meta competitive. And today is the day that we have had new landmarks and new units and all this marvellous stuff. And I've been taking a little bit of a break from Legends of Runeterra, because I think I was almost on burnout making so many decks for you guys to watch on YouTube. So I haven't actually put anything out in a while. This is the first one back. So if you stuck around, thank you very much indeed. If you're brand new, I pretty much find new cards and make new decks with them, trying to make them as meta efficient as possible. So I have built a 34 card deck in the game, and I'm adding two brand new cards, one of which you can see on screen right now. And I think both of these will be making Vladimir super competitive. So I have made many a Vladimir deck. I like things with big units. I like things that can hurt themselves. I don't think spells are really that important in a deck that wants to go wide. But let me show you the thought process. And the minute this came out, I went, number one, Vlad. Number two, Braum. Braum, because he regenerates. You don't even have to throw him out. But by the time you've already done this, Braum's probably already leveled and all that sort of stuff. Look at this. Look at this card. Like, seriously. Look at this card. It is phenomenal. It That Stares is an 8-cost unit, 8/8 stat line, and its play is phenomenal. You will obliterate all landmarks. this is going to destroy the Tam Kench meta. That deck's now dead. This has killed it off outright. Or deal 2 to all other units. So it's you can decide what you need. If you're playing a deck that doesn't do anything, then what you really need to do is deal 2 to every other unit going. That will wipe out boards, that will destroy things. But if you've got a deck with inbuilt regeneration, you don't really care. Out of which it's an 8/8 unit, which is fantastic. But if you're playing against the Noxian, the Freljord, any landmark, but especially the 2-cost unit that once you heal 22 times, they win, this has just destroyed it. So building a deck around It That Stares is phenomenal. It's point efficient. It's on mana curve. It is fantastic. We will be using 3 of these in our Vlad Braum deck. And the next thing that we have, let me come out of this and I'll go back into my pictures, my lovely screenshots, is this. I hope you can see that. And here is a landmark that, I don't care that it's in Freljord, this is phenomenal. This is the best buff I have ever seen, ever. Anytime you throw out Vladimir, you're taking 1 off them. If it survives, grant it +1 power and tough. Hello. Which means the next time you attack with Vladimir, they're not losing any health, because he only takes 1. And 1 damage into a tough unit keeps it at whatever health it is. This, unbelievably, only costs 3 mana. We're not running an awful lot of stuff under 3 mana in our Freljord Noxus deck that I am about to show you. So we are running 3 Scargrounds and 3 It That Stares. That's the 6 cards that are going to be, and now watch me go over this way. Now, let me see. Here we go. Vlad's Scarground. The deck is at the bottom with the big red thing because I don't have, as they're not released yet, those 2 cards in this deck. But the premise is we want big, massive things to actually do things wonderfully, to survive damage, to even get better surviving damage. So here is the deck. You will see, hitting Sith's favorite button, we only are running 8 spells, 26 units. We want to go as wide as possible, survive as much damage as possible. We're not running any 1-drops whatsoever. We're not even running anything apart from Troll Chant, which is in at number 2. So let me show you what we have. We actually can't do anything until round 3. And Troll Chant, we're running 3s of. There are quite a few 2s in this deck because I'm having to try and figure out what is the best way to do it. And like all my Donger deck discussion decks, this is your starter for 10 or for 9 really, because I want you guys to make this into a 10 out of 10 deck. This is from me finding out this information today, brainstorming in my brain and coming up with this. So as you can see down here, 34 out of 40, then 3 It That Stares, and 3 Scargrounds. So that will make that 40 out of 40. And we have got Trundle and Vladimir. Now, in a true sense of the word, I would much rather maybe have Ash. Why have I got Trundle in there? Well, it's Braum I'm after. I like putting in decks with champions that are different from everything else. So I have like 3 5s, 3 4s, 3 3s, 1 2, 6 7s, and 8s. So it's a high mana cost. This is not like a Demacia deck, people. This has just got things it needs to do. So Troll Chant is the only thing that you can do. Ideally, you want the Tavern Keeper or the Trapper out first. I'm actually thinking of maybe making that a 3 and that a 2. I think that's probably a very good idea. He's a 3-3. He's a 3-3, but you're going to heal your Nexus 3, because if you're not doing anything for 2 turns without getting one of these cards, then you're in a bit of a bad way, to be honest. So let me have a little look. I think these are all kind of good enough. Yes, they should be. Okay, so nothing to do the first 2 rounds. You are starting on round 3 at the earliest. You can't play anything else, but you can. You can Culling Strike, of which we're running 2 of. Kill a unit with 3 or less power. We're only running 2 of this. The spells can change, the units can change, but as it is, as a first impression about where my head is at with these 2 other cards, we need things to survive damage. That is why we're not running Omen Hawks. And that will survive 2 damage if you put down It That Stares. That would survive it. That would survive it. Braum will survive it. Awakener will survive it. Hearthguard. All of these are all 5s, some with regen. We're looking really good no matter which one of those 2 that we play on 3. So in that 3 bracket, we will have the Scarground, and in the 8 bracket, we will have this. Now, because we will be running 8 8-drops, there are things for me to kind of think we could be running trolls in here as well, especially the one that says, if you have an 8-drop, give me Overwhelm and Regeneration, which is the 4-drop. In fact, why don't I just find the thing? Yeah, there we go. It's a 3-5, and regen could go in the 4-drop. But we also need bigger units as well. So here's the deck. Troll Chant, knock 2 attack off an attacker. Give one of your guys defending 2 health. Fantastic. We're running 3. A 3-3 that brings an Enraged Yeti into the top 3 cards of your deck means that you get a 1 mana 5-5. I had 3 in there, as you saw. I've dropped it down 2 simply because we can't put a unit on the board until round 3, which is why I've put the Kindly Tavern Keeper, exactly the same stats and cost, but you get to heal your Nexus 3. So we are replenishing anything that we've maybe lost. So if they've put out something for like 2 on round 1, they put out 2, another 2 out there. They attack again. You're down to 15, say. Your kindly Tavern Keeper puts it back to 18, and you've got a solid unit on the board. Culling Strike you can play in round 2 as you get 1 for round 1. You're not playing anything. That goes to your bank. You then get 2. You can Culling Strike a unit with 3 or less power. I'm only putting 2 in because I think there are better ways to be killing things. And in a Vladimir deck, you want your units to trade well and survive, because that levels up Vlad. If, however, you have got nothing in your hand apart from an Avalanche, and you haven't played anything for the first 2, that is why we're running 3 of these absolutely beautiful things that you can then drop on round 3 when you have got 6 mana, which is fantastic. So you can play this on round 1 or round 2, but if they have a whole load of stuff that's going to suddenly hit you for 8, then just Avalanche. And hope that they are going to throw out another one being greedy, because people do greed in this game. And even if they put out a 3-3, then you're only taking 3 instead of 11. And that's a lot better and will win you the game, or put you in a position to actually win the matchup. At the same time, for the same cost, you can have Braum. The first time he survives damage, you get a Mighty Porro. That's a 3-3 with Overwhelm, which is fantastic. Survive total damage, and every time he gets hit afterwards, you get another Mighty Porro. Added to which, he has got this. He is this. He heals fully. He is regenerating. Throw him out first, then throw out Vladimir and these two, because they both will heal themselves. They are really kind of good. But it actually starts to go into the mid-game when Vladimir decks have traditionally become really, really decent. So the Crimson Awakener we're running 2 of. It's a 5-5 and deals 1 to every other ally in the game. I think it's fantastic. I was pitching in between using, where's the 3 cost one that does Ember Maiden? Deal 1 to everything. Nexus, their side, our side. But I knew there was another 3 coming in, and I genuinely think that the Crimson Awakener with a better set line for 1 mana, doing 1 to your allies, therefore increasing the chances of Vlad increasing, because he kind of does all this at the side and builds up without even being on your board. That is fantastic. And that are our 3-4 mana drops, because we are going to have quite a few 3 things here to start the ball rolling. Now let us continue on. Avazarian Hearthguard. Avarosans are disgusting, and the fact that you're getting to then grant every other ally in your deck 1-1 is ridiculous. He's a 5-5 for 5. That's ridiculous. That's really, really damn good. Solid unit. As is the Scar Maiden Reaver, which is not really what you would call, that's the wrong pun, there we go. There is the Scar Maiden Reaver on top of a giant warthog, and that's a nice piece of art. Big tusky boar things. Great unit. And it's a great unit because it not only has Overwhelm, it regenerates. And that is a horrible card, and it's starting to become a pretty solid card in the meta, but it's not like Omen Hawks and Trappers and Hearthguards and all that sort of stuff. People would rather put the Hearthguard in instead of this. I've decided to put 3 of these in as well, because I think the regeneration combined with our boy, the main boy himself, Vladimir, the beautiful count. For every attacking ally on your right, deal 1 to it and 1 to the enemy nexus. So, if you have got a full board, then you will be doing 5 as long as you put Vladimir out first. That is a thing. That is a big, big thing. Because if you've got something that's going to die when you do 1 to it, you're probably better off throwing them out first, keeping them alive, destroying something else, and letting this guy go crazy. Once he has then leveled up, he gets regeneration himself, so he heals fully all the time. But the fact that you can now decide which ones are actually going to get 1 dealt to it is phenomenal. So, Can we maximize this if we have Vladimir on the board? Well, yes, of course we can. So it stays exactly the same. You do deal 1 to it and 1 to the enemy nexus. Once he's leveled, you're draining 1 from the enemy nexus. So say, for instance, you're both on 13. You do 4 to the right-hand side. You do 4 damage to that, and you increase yours by 4. So immediately they're down to 9, and you're up to 17. You're regenerating your own nexus, which is something I have always loved about Vladimir, but we've never really had a deck that made full usage of it, and I'm beginning to think that this one has got severe legs. So the Reaver automatically regenerates, levels and regenerates, and then we're on to bigger things. The Scar Mother is terrifying. She a big woman. She overwhelmed. You throw her out on 6. If you're attacking on 7, she'll go out. She'll go down 1 if you throw her out beside to the right of Vladimir, and now becomes a 6/7 overwhelm. Keep her back. Wait again. Throw out. Now she's a 9/6 overwhelm unit, and Vrina can win the game. She's phenomenal. She is absolutely phenomenal. Love her. The overwhelm in here makes all the difference in the world, and we have overwhelm with that Scar Maiden. So the Scars are really quite big with the Avazorans up here, the Hearthguards and the Trappers with the Reavers, and the mother of all the Scars in there with Varana. We're also using the 7-cost Ancient Yeti, yet again with Overwhelm, which is Noxus's greatest strength. But if you get this early, you're not playing it. But for each round, so say you do 5, all of a sudden this is now a 2-cost 5/5, which is why I think dropping the Trapper down, you're going to get a 1/5/5. This you'll probably put out as a 2 or 3 cost, then maybe throw out a Braum. There's so much you can do. There is literally so much you can do with this deck, and it has Overwhelm. Just genius. And the last one is Osgar the Ancient, a 7/7 for 8. Don't forget that the It That Stares also costs 8. So we have 4 cards that are in the 8 bracket, but this is not only a challenger, so you can choose which enemy blocks. So there's a kill. It also regenerates, which is fantastic. So we have got regeneration, regeneration. We've got so much at Braum, regenerates. There's so much stuff that we can do in here, and there are other things that you can put in. I don't think 8 in total is enough to be using the Troll Ravager, to be fair. I don't genuinely think the Augur of the Old Ones is that good either, because you have to see, yes, he is regenerating and Overwhelm and a 5/5. When you compare it to this, though, this only stays at 5. We have no spells like Might or anything silly like this, or Brother's Bond to give it an extra 2. This just increases for the same cost. Better health, and the first time it receives damage is better. It just doesn't regenerate. I think this, for this deck, is a far better thing. And I have tried it out, and I like it a great deal. I really like it a great deal. There are also other things. The Bloodseeker is not bad. Not bad, but not brilliant. But, if people are throwing out the Howling Abyss, which is just a ridiculous landmark. Like, it's terrifyingly bad. And if we go to all the landmarks that we can then, kill off with the Scarground. Let me do that. Scorched Earth costs 3. That, your strongest ally and the weakest enemy strike each other. Howling Abyss, create a random level 2 champion. This is seeing a lot of play. Slaughter Docks, not really so much. The Vaults of Hellia, kill your most expensive ally to summon an ally from your deck that costs one more. That's Shadow Wilds one, and it is fantastic. That is the one, however, that is used the most. Heal 22 times and win. The fact that our Scarguard literally obliterates them all. This can be a 21. You play it on 8. A lot of people are running a lot of them, so they put down another one, and that's 2 of their win conditions completely gone and setting them back to 0. And we're running 3 of them. And it's an 8, it's fantastic. Like, oh my god, it's fantastic. So that'll be the only time you will use to destroy, obliterate all landmarks. They're completely gone. There's no way you can get them back. But if you're not playing against a landmark deck, doing 2 to everything has pretty much just leveled your entire board because it's expensive. It's expensive. So let me go back to the 2 things that I have. There's the Scargrounds. When an ally survives damage, grant it +1 and tough. The most perfect of things for Vladimir by miles. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that's good. But this is fantastic. Obliterate all landmarks or deal 2 to all other units. If this works the way I'm hearing it in my head, this is one of the best cards for Vladimir in the history of Runeterra. My name is Sis Holocron. The deck code will be at the bottom in the pinned comments. Try it out. Let us know what you think. Come and join us on the Dongers Discord. And until the next video, thank you very much for watching. We always finish the same way, right? Dongers out.